protection order filed just yesterday sadly could not prevent the violence at the hands of a jealous husband.
Investigators say he killed two people, his estranged wife and her friend. The intersection of Mulligan and Vallandingham Roads in Grant County turned into the scene of a deadly ambush. Joe Webb has been there all day working to learn more about the victims and joins us live. Joe?
Well, Rob, Shaun Hiles, the suspected shooter in this case, is recovering at the University of Cincinnati Hospital from surgery. Is in critical condition. He will face 2 murder charges when he comes back here to Grant County. We learned a lot today about Hiles and what led up to last night's double homicide. At 11:30 last night, Grant County deputies rolled up on a gruesome scene on Mulligan Road. Nicole Hiles shot and killed with a .357. Larry Whiteker shot and killed with a .223 caliber rifle. The admitted shooter, Nicole Hiles' estranged husband Shaun, who had crashed into Whitaker's truck in a jealous rage. He was also wounded with his own rifle. This afternoon, Nicole Hiles' father came to the scene in shock.
She was a great young lady. She was a school bus driver, a Sunday school teacher at the church. She was a very good individual. And her husband, who she married, was a control freak.
Nicole Hiles died about 8 hours after applying for an emergency protective order in Grant County Court. She moved out of the family home a week ago and claimed Shaun Hiles was harassing her and stalking her. The protective order was never filed. Hiles has a history of violence. In April, he was arrested for battery in Dearborn County for allegedly hitting a man with a tire tool. Chris Miller knew all 3 people involved. He knew Shaun Hiles the best.
It was probably 2.5 hours prior to this. He was at my house and left. He'd actually talked to me, my dad, and my fiance, and he never once said anything about anything like this. I knew Shaun was, a little controlling, this and that, but I didn't dream of him doing something like this. It takes a lot of nerve for somebody to do something like this.
Now, friends and family say Nicole Hiles and Larry Whiteker were just friends. He knew that Shaun was scaring her, and he was taking her home to the place that she'd been staying for the last week when Shaun Hiles confronted them and ultimately shot them last night. Nicole Hiles leaves behind 2 daughters, ages 16 and 14, the youngest one she had with Shaun Hiles. Reporting live in Williamstown, Joe Webb, Local 12 News. Rob?
So, Joe, the protective order was applied for but not filed, meaning it didn't get processed? Is that what it boils down to? Okay.
It did not get processed. It sat on the desk there. They were going to get to it this morning and get it in front of a judge, and it was too late. Now, that said, a protective order is a piece of paper. It has the weight of law, but it's not going to stop somebody who is, it can't protect somebody other than in the eyes of the law.
We've seen that a time or two, haven't we, Joe?
Yes, we have.
Thanks very much. A judge signed murder warrants on Shaun Hiles today. The sheriff plans to serve those to him in the hospital.